Right, Blues fans, 3DB Boys here, following our 1-1 draw at the Racecourse with Wrexham. Little bit of a game of two halves for us, really, that was for the most part. First half was very frustrating for us, we watched it at home, the three of us. Probably you guys there that were at the Racecourse as well. It seemed very reminiscent again of Blues in possession. Not enough urgency, not enough movement off the ball in front of us, particularly with Leonard and Paik. And we found it very difficult to get it into the forward areas out wide or even in the 10 with Jay. And the biggest red flag, not just for the first half, but just the game in general, and something that we have to improve on over the international break, is just set pieces. Dad, you said it in the last post-match. With tonight it affecting Wrexham's goal, and we just didn't defend our box. We're just doing this bullshit zonal marking, and that has to stop. We cannot leak goals like that away from home or at home, wherever in this league. Because if we don't do that tonight, we might go and win that game. And we'll come to that. But yeah, as I say, game of two halves. In the second half, I don't know what exactly was said at half time. Chris Davis just said in his post-match for Sky that he was saying that just do more of the same things, but he did say about us being a bit more urgent, carrying the ball forward more, better movement off the ball in front of you so you can move it up the pitch. And we did start to do that, and we scored within less than 1 minute into the half. And from there, really looked like we were the team that were going to go and win it. And we didn't look like a different Blues, but we looked like the Blues that we could be. And I think that's what's really important here and I think that's why a lot of us grow so frustrated with the last X amount of away games and us not picking up points, because the potential there is so great. We can all see it. I think we've really got the ability to play, but it's only when we play with intent and play with forward balls and be aggressive in the right areas that we can really hurt teams. And we showed that tonight, didn't we, in the second half? And I think if any team was going to go and win it, it was probably us. So another point on the board, and happy to go into the international break with breaking the rot away, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's a great way, like you said, to lead off into the international break, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going into the second one of the season as well. We were more positive. We moved the ball forward. We weren't just turning, looking back, moving back towards the goalkeeper. We were picking out runs, particularly in the second half as well. Wasn't exactly excited sometimes to see COYB on, but actually it turned out to be his kind of game.
Yeah.
Because he got a couple of runs in behind. Shame about the goal that was flagged for offside, though. He was offside, to be fair. And it was a great finish, by the way. And hopefully,
absolutely fantastic.
Like maybe Don Goodman was alluding to on the Sky commentary team, and I think Davis probably alluded to it a little bit, didn't he, as well? And you could see him speaking to COYB after the game. Hopefully that's given his confidence a boost.
Yeah.
Great goal in terms of our equalising goal. Nice and early in the second half, straight at it, putting Wrexham on the back foot, really asserting ourselves in the game. Great ball by Jay, knew exactly where Roberts was. Roberts, first great touch, gets it out of his feet, slots it nicely past the goalkeeper. And it just completely changes the perspective of the game, doesn't it? And we look like the team on the front foot. Wrexham didn't register a single shot on target for the entirety of the second half. They were only really the better team for the first sort of 25 minutes. There was a 10-minute period in the second half where they came back into it. But even then, they weren't threatening.
No.
They were bringing the ball forward, but they didn't really threaten, as it were.
We defended our box a little bit better, didn't we, second half?
Yeah, we did, definitely.
We you know, as you said, and they had a little bit of a spell. It was mostly us in there, but we did tighten up a little bit, and we looked a bit more aggressive, didn't we? So
yeah, we did. And I think Damari had a good game in the first half, but then I think he was doubled up on. I think you alluded to that, Dad, didn't you, in the second half as well? So we dropped off a little bit, maybe just ran out of gas as well. Some players just do in the second half. But Damari had a fantastic game. He was really the star player for us in the first half. There wasn't a lot of positives to take. It was very passive. It was very slow. It was alluded to a number of times by Don Goodman again on the Sky commentary team, and we just seemed to change it. And like you say, rather than just saying keep doing what we're doing, even Chris Davis, like you mentioned, Joe, in his Sky post-match interview, there was a bit more urgency about it, as it were. We moved it forward quicker, and it just goes to show, because our goal XG went up. It's something like 1.34 now, where it was something like 0.05 before. So it just shows how much something like that, and the way you treat the game and you approach the opposition, how much of a difference it can make. And it just lifts the fans as well, and it's something to be proud of, I think.
Yeah, I think you needed the pride back of it tonight, you know. I mean, you know,
I think we got that.
We were all a bit disappointed with what happened on Tuesday. Okay, we got a point out of it by keeping on, you know, right to the last whistle, which is always a good thing. But it was nice not to rely on a 90th something minute equaliser tonight, to get it early and then give us a chance to go on and win in normal time, where you've got more time to affect, you know, a winner. And there's been too many 90 pluses. I think somebody was speaking to me and Joe earlier on, and saying if Blues results had only been ended on the 90th minute of each match, I think we'd have been the bottom two, if not bottom. So it's nice for a change to score early, so we can actually affect our plans in the way that we want to, you know, and push forward. You two have covered pretty much how I thought the game went, you know, with the game of two halves. So I'm going to perhaps give a few shout outs to a few different players. I was, as the three of us were, I think collectively dubious of the starting lineup.
We were, weren't we?
You know,
I think we all three of us were.
The height thing with Neumann not being in there, I was surprised and a bit disappointed to see. You worry a little bit about the competitive nature of the pivot, but I would say I'll give a shout out to Moki for doing well at right back.
Yeah,
I think
he had a good game.
Yeah. He held his position.
Yeah.
Wrexham are famed for getting balls in from wide areas, and I don't remember anything of significance on his side at all. And I would also say, in the long run, over the course of the 90 odd minutes, well done to Mark Leonard as well for coming in and keeping it fairly solid. There were moments of frustration with him where, and I think this is why he doesn't get in the team as often as perhaps he should, there's too many risks involved in some of his balls sometimes.
He nearly gave them their goal.
He did.
And I think that's an after effect.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably not the best way to describe it, of the way we play. So stuff like that's going to happen. And James got us out of it, didn't he? So.
Yeah, I think so. And that, but, you know, sometimes I guess you have to have a little bit of that. And he's not the only one, let's bear that in mind. We talk about Water being the defensive midfield player. How many times has he done that?
Yeah.
He has given the ball away in those areas.
He put the ball in the net last season.
Yes,
when
that's
we
right.
played away at Northampton.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, you know, it gives us another option at right back. I'm not sure I see him being there when the others are fit.
No.
I expect Boz to be back.
Yeah.
When we reconvene in the middle of October.
Yeah.
So that would be good. And yeah, you know, I think those two in particular, because they're not in the team, they're not in those positions very often.
Yeah.
I think as an overall thing, a panoramic view of it, it was important to stop the rot away.
Biggest thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Losing 3 games, albeit against teams who are doing well, and we have to bear that in mind. It was important to say we can go on the road and get points again.
Yeah.
We can do it. In 2 successive matches, now you also have to say we were behind in 2 matches and we came back and got a point.
You can't question the fight, can you?
No,
you can't. Absolutely not.
We can all talk about, you know, the set pieces and then going the other way with perhaps the intent and the intensity that we attack with, but the fight from the boys is in there. And just because you're on the back of you talking about some players there, Dad, obviously we've kind of touched on it because he ran out of gas, I think, in the second half, but Dimmy Gray in that first half.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Best player on the park.
It didn't take a lot because nobody was really standing out. But, you know, he probably could have scored. He put it just over the bar, and he took a really good touch in the inside of the box. Had a little run as well from deep into Wrexham's half, and then I got a shot off.
Yeah.
He looked a level above again tonight, and
He did,
I think
didn't he?
for us at least, he's been a real asset to us on that left-hand side,
Fantastic.
of both sides of the wings, really. But just on the back of players as well, obviously, as we say, we were a bit dubious about the lineup when it was released, but James Beadle.
Yeah.
Really good game.
Tonight. Great
Really
shift.
good.
You know, he pulled
Did
off
well.
some really nice saves. I mean, for me, I think it was O'Brien when Leonard had that stray pass inside the 6-yard, and O'Brien should have tucked it away.
Yeah.
But Beadle still had to get in the way and save it, and he did.
Yeah, he did.
And he looked fine. He looked pretty comfortable on the ball and was trying to ping it out wide and play the way that, you know, Allsop has been playing up till now.
Yeah.
I suppose the question is as well, and you guys watching in the comments, just let us know if you'd probably like to see Beadle again in the international break, or do we go back to Allsop?
I think all 3 of us would, wouldn't we?
I think
I think it was pretty much a unanimous agreement, wasn't it, between the 3 of
I
us?
think you got to keep him in there just because, you know, Allsop's had a couple of bad games. There's no reason why you just don't keep Beadle in there. I mean, he was fine tonight. So one thing I want to say as well, because there wasn't as much hype for this game as far as the Hollywood
No, there
thing.
wasn't. No.
And I mean, Blues fans that were there, let us know if you thought it was different, but it looked quiet tonight on TV. It was nobody singing or anything, so I don't know.
No.
I mean, I heard us when we scored and, you know, when we had chances and got going a bit in the second half, but other than that, it was quiet. Like, I mean, we didn't take many in retrospect to what we normally do, but that's allocation. But Wrexham were quiet as well, and there wasn't a lot going on there. So I think it's one of those things, isn't it, overall, where, as you say, Dad, the most important thing we've took there is to stop the rot away.
Yeah.
We've took a point against what is relatively, I think, a difficult place to go, like a lot of places in this league. But on the flip side of that, there's issues to address, and we all know it. whether it's Jonathan Grounds or not, whatever's going on with the set pieces, that has to be addressed.
Yeah, of course it does.
Can't leak goals like that every fucking game because you'll get nowhere in this league.
No, you won't.
And you've got to be more threatening at set pieces with your corners, your long throws, whatever it be. If we can do that, we stand a real chance, I think.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
We do.
I think I'd also throw in as well about Wrexham, playing them. Let's not forget Tuesday night, they went to Leicester and got a point.
Yeah.
There ain't going to be that many teams who are going to be able to do that this season. I mean, everybody was eulogising about Coventry, getting a point at Leicester, which obviously is a good result. But Coventry at the top of the division.
Yeah.
They are.
Wrexham are in the bottom half and they got a point away at the team that's, I think, still is going to be kind of pushing for the top two.
Yeah.
So let's not underestimate what we've done. I know they haven't been great at home, but they're becoming more cohesive as a unit, Wrexham. Their style of play is developing. The new players are bedding in, so it was still important to go there and do what we did.
Yeah.
So I'm, having been quite negative in my own mindset at the end of the first half, I now feel a lot more positive having seen that second half.
Yeah, I think it's really how we take it forward, isn't it, Dan? Because we've seen that tonight in the second half, and it was open for us in the first. But I think there's argument to say that it was not made easier, but it was easier, at least from what I was seeing in the middle tonight, for Leonard and Paik in the middle to dictate. Because we're going to up against teams going forward that are going to pack it out in midfield, and we're going to find it more difficult. But it's a positive sign to take it. We have to take that forward now going into Hull after the international. So
we do, and I think Hull almost, now becomes a must-win. I think because we've shown now that we can make it work, we can mix it up.
Yeah.
Because it's too passive if we're keeping possession too much and just distributing the ball about the midfield, as it were. And I think you alluded to it as well, that if you're playing that kind of system, you've got to have really high quality players to make that work effectively. We don't have that, so we need to mix it up and change it up in the way that we do. Get players to drop deep for the ball, get them to turn, look where it is, look for the run. So Kyogo, Stansfield, pivot between the tens, as it were, and out wide as well. Make it work for us. We've got the quality there to do that and mix it up. So let's use it, and the fans will get behind that, particularly back at St Andrews at United Park when we return after the international break against Hull City. Got a couple of tough tests after that, haven't we? Away to Preston North End as well. Place we never really get a particularly good result at, but we can remain hopeful on that, particularly if we carry on playing that way, as it were. We just need to be at it more from the get-go, not after 25, 35 or in 45 minutes. We just need to be on it. And of course, as you say, Bristol City away again, they're doing particularly well at the moment as well. But I just like to see this momentum continue now, and I'm hoping now, going off, and some of the viewers and listeners that may have seen Chris Davies' post-match interview on Sky, that he's starting to click with that now. We're starting to see how we become more engaging and how we control games, but also how we look positive as well, and how we can influence the game in a way that we know we can, but we just seemed reluctant to in the past because we've been so focused on this possession-based football, as it were. You've got to shake it up and mix it up to survive and do better in this division.
I think what it is you're not completely tweaking the way that you play, because in that second half we were still possession-based. It's intent, it's moving the ball and getting into positions to receive it. Because, from what I was seeing tonight, and I've seen it do it a lot, and I'm not going to go about this too much, but because I guess it's a little bit technical, I suppose, in some ways. But the way I'm seeing it is we receive it in positions where you can turn and move into space, but we don't even look. We just go straight back. You've got to play with intent, and I think that the mixing up comes when you're playing certain teams who play in maybe certain ways. And I think you are right, Dan. You have to go long sometimes, so you move up the pitch in one go. Hold it up, player support. You're now 50 yards up the pitch, and you're in a much more dangerous position. So, but I think just to touch on real quick on Chris Davies' post-match, what was good about it is that he recognised what was good and bad. I'm glad he's come out and said it, because he said
it was more balanced, wasn't it, than it has been lately. And I think what a good thing as well was, when you talk about balance, is when they mention the expectation. And he said his expectation was realistic. Now, I don't know whether, obviously, he's had open and honest conversation, because he mentioned he talks with Tom Wagner and the other owners on quite a regular basis. Talked to him this morning, we'll talk again to him this evening. And Wagner looked quite happy at the end of the game, actually, because he was in amongst the away Birmingham supporters that travels to the Racecourse ground tonight. But I'm hoping that's kind of something that he's already discussed with him, and if not, has now become apparent to him that, look, while we've set this expectation up here, this is the Championship, and if you don't have a realistic expectation, and in Chris Davies' own words, you don't know football. And it was good to hear that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I read some feedback on a forum where somebody was saying that there were a lot of shouts from our fans of forward in the first half. You know, that it goes back to the point Joe was making of turn and go forward.
Yeah. That's not the first time we've heard that.
No, it's not. No, and it's. I mean, the interesting thing there is to link into what you said, Dan, is that Wagner will have heard that.
Yeah,
he will have heard firsthand what the feet on the ground are talking about. Yeah. You know, the people who are there, what are they saying? And you can bet your bottom dollar that other people who aren't there, like us, are saying the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to escape his notice that we are looking for a team that's going to be progressive. Yeah. Now, you can't always go forward with stuff. It's foolhardy to think that you're going to be able to play a Hollywood pass every time that you've got the ball. You're not. And you've got to rebuild. Every team knows that.
Yeah.
But our percentages of being progressive needs to be higher.
Yeah.
And if we do that, and we do it incisively and swiftly, I think we'll see more results come our way. So I guess we want to see that when we come back for the next block of 6 games, where we need to be looking for a minimum of 10 points. Another 10 points, get us up to 22 from 15 games. Then we're starting to talk a little bit more. Then we're starting to talk.
Yeah.
So let's see what they can do. Better to be positive tonight. It's good to see that we've got a point on the road. Let's take a step back now for a couple of weeks, and we'll see what we come back with.
Yeah. Massive positive to take. And I think that the message is that the issues have been identified, and it's now how we take that forward to be, I think, the team with quality that I think we can be, and we take that to the teams that we play after the international. So a good point earned. Let us know, guys, what you think, as you always do in the comments below. Take the point. Disappointed? Do you think we deserve more, maybe? And how do we fare with the team that we put out, with the likes of James Beadle that we mentioned, and some of the performances in there as well? And let us know what you guys think. So when we next come to you guys, I'm not too sure, because obviously we'll probably put 1 or 2 videos out during the international. It's just as of when we record those, we've got a few logistics to work around there, but nonetheless, we'll see you all obviously after the international break. We play Hull City back at St Andrews at Night Park, aren't we, Dan?
Yep.
Until then, keep right on, Blue Noses, and we will see you all soon.
Keep right on.